They're preparing to send U.S. citizens, including political dissidents, to prisons in El Salvador. Marco Rubio just announced a deal with El Salvador where El Salvador will take violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any nationality. First of all, deporting migrants of any nationality into an El Salvadorian prison is disgusting enough. If you're going to deport them to their country of origin. There's absolutely no need to stick them in one of the worst prison systems in the world that they are not from. And before you say this is only for the violent criminals, I mean, again, let me point out violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any nationality. This is really, really concerning and altogether unnecessary on its own. The cruelty is the point. But because some of you, whenever you hear the word migrants or deportation, you assume it doesn't apply to you, let's talk about the U.S. criminals part. So to be clear, according to Rubio, Bukele offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residence, but didn't really say much more than that. So, quote, it's unclear whether the U.S. government will take up the offer. However, despite it being technically illegal to deport U.S. citizens, allow me to remind you that they have also introduced a bill to the House that would classify being anti-fascist as domestic tea. Remember all the previous human rights abuses at Guantanamo? There's a reason they want to do more than criminalize it and just classify it as domestic tea. Add to that the bill in Tennessee that would criminalize voting against some of Trump's immigration policies. We'll be sure to see more of that type of legislation in coming days. They're trying to criminalize political dissent, which is exactly what Trump promised his entire campaign. And they're trying to imprison and deport, which historically we have referred to as exile American citizens for being political dissenters. I also want to point out that according to our own State Department, El Salvador has a travel warning on it, including warnings about suspended constitutional rights and due process for imprisoned people. The goal seems to be to exile not just immigrants, but also American citizens into an unnecessarily cruel prison system where they have no access to a lawyer or their constitutionally protected rights. People will be lost to this. This is all by design. It is the worst case scenario that we've all been warning about, and it needs to be stopped. Call your representatives, including if they're Republicans. There's an app called 5 Calls, I believe, that makes it easier. There are also nationwide demonstrations organized for tomorrow, February 5th. If you look it up, you should be able to find information on what cities near you are participating, but also don't comply in advance. They're scared of dissidents because we are a threat. Don't stay quiet.